Hi, I'm Bob Trask. I've been studying and teaching consciousness and how to make our lives excellent for over 40 years in places around the world. And today I'm going to talk to you about making this your year. Making this your year. Maybe you thought last year was going to be your year, or maybe the year before last. But today I'm going to talk about what will make this become your year. And you know that no one, not me, nor any of the people that I'm going to quote, can actually do that for you. You have to do that. But I think I can give you the guidance that you need to actually get the rubble out of the way, the detritus out of the way, so that this will become clear to you how you can make this the year you've always dreamed of. So, to begin with, let's admit that only Bob Trask can be me, and only you can be you. So to start with, let me ask this question. Is your life presently fulfilled, or is it becoming fulfilled? And if not, why aren't you doing what you want? Why aren't you doing what you want? Because when you're doing what you want, that's and doing what you love, that's the path to life fulfillment for all of us. And sometimes we're not doing our life's work because we just don't trust ourselves. Because, man, that dream that I have, oh boy, that really sounds exciting, but that seems a little too big for me. Like I don't think I could do that. And I'm going to encourage you to actually take that step today. And sometimes we don't do our life's work. We don't follow our dreams because it just seems impossible. It just seems so far above us. And sometimes it's because those close to us will disagree. If I say, well, I've decided to do the following, then somebody will disagree. I remember when I decided that I was going to be a singer, a professional singer. So I went to my sister Marilyn's house and she was at the stove and her niece was there and they were cooking and I said, Marilyn, I've made a decision. She said, what? And I said, I've decided I'm going to be a professional singer. And she said, oh, that's good. And she said, Peggy, stir that a little bit more. And she didn't, she just turned it back to me. And I thought, well, I didn't make an impression on her. So then she said, okay, turn this down. Come on. She and Peggy went in the other room and they sat down on the couch. And then she said to me, okay, sing to us. And I said, sing to you? She said, yeah, sing to us. And I said, oh, like I was going to be a professional singer, but now I'm actually being asked to sing in front of somebody. She said, you're going to be a professional singer. Here's your audience, sing to us. So she had a big overstuffed chair there. So I went over behind the chair and leaned on it and I started to sing. And she said, hold on a minute, wait. She said, are you going to take my chair with you on the road? I said, no. She said, then get out from behind my chair. I never forgot that. I had an uphill battle and I did become a professional singer. But I'm telling you, I had to get over that terror, that fright about how much bigger that was than me. And it took a long time. And quite frankly, I never did really make it as I wanted to make it because I never did really get into that identity. What do I mean by that identity? What I mean is that if it's a goal, if it's a vision, and it's way out there somewhere, then it's hard for you to ever get there. It has to be inside of you. You have to bring that dream inside of you. You have to live it. You have to already be there. And not you can't say, I'm working toward getting there, because then you'll always be working toward getting there. You have to feel that inside of you. You have to feel the joy. You have to feel the excitement, the thrill of actually having that dream come true. You have to feel it now, feel it today. And then we take charge of our lives. We take charge of our dreams. And that begins with deciding what's going to happen this year. So we need that goal and we need that vision, don't we? Because isn't it true that we can't get from here to there if we don't know where there is? So let's get a clear vision, one that excites us. And it probably should frighten us a little bit too. If it doesn't frighten us, it's not beyond us, and we want something that's beyond us. There's a successful fashion designer and businesswoman that I really admire. She came from nothing and she made her name in the fashion industry and in the business. She's amazing. Her name is Tory Burch. And Tory said, if it doesn't scare you, you're probably not dreaming big enough. Okay, the first step then is to get a vision. Get a vision that scares you a little bit, but excites you. Because what you can do is you can change that fear into excitement. If you bring that vision into your heart, dare you do that? Dare you bring that vision into your heart and own it? Dare you do that? Oh, I know it seems out there. It is out there, but make it not be out there. Bring it inside of you. Feel the passion of it. Feel the thrill of it. That's something that you want to be, to do, or to have by this time next year. And then we need to stop making our choices according to someone else's directions. We have to stop letting other people decide what's good for us because other people are not us. And only we can determine what will fulfill our lives this year. So let's decide for ourselves who and what we want to be in January of next year. And though we won't let others decide our vision or decide our goal, we certainly are going to need other people. We're going to need good coaches on our team. This is called our support team. And it's made up of those people who understand us, who know us, who believe in us, who trust us, who see our potential, and who are willing to support us as they can. So now we can't make irresponsible decisions. We got to make positive, practical decisions right in line with our vision. And that goes on all day long. If I have a vision and I'm holding that vision, everything I'm doing in my life, whether it's eating or sleeping or whatever it is, all of that has to do with moving toward my vision. I can't set my vision over to the side and pretend that it's just something hanging off to the side. I have to put it on board and carry it in my heart. And we can't make irresponsible decisions because those will alienate those people who support us. And we do need them. Again, why do we need others? Because there's no such thing as individual accomplishment. It just doesn't exist. Every successful person we can think of had a support team. And we think of Thomas Edison, who failed 10,000 times, and he said, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just learned 10,000 times what didn't work. But it's easy for us to think of him alone in his laboratory, but he wasn't alone. He had a team. He had a support team. And another thing our support team needs to see is us being authentic through the process of accomplishing our dreams. So if I say, this is my dream, this is my passion, I'm holding this inside of me, I'm excited about this is what I'm moving toward, this is what I'm going to be, do, and have in this year, I'm really powerful about, and then a week later, I'm kind of namby-pamby about it, then I just lost my support team. You have to fire them up by firing yourself up. What we didn't learn in school was how vital it is to remain authentic and then gather a support team. So let's be us. I'll be me, and you be you. No one else can. And everyone else is going to love us for it. Okay, now we have a vision. Now we have a goal. And maybe you don't have it yet because I'm just giving this talk. Maybe after this talk, you're going to sit down and start writing down some ideas and crossing them out, writing some ideas and crossing them out till you get to that gem that really turns you on, that turns all the lights on in the house of your mind. When you get that vision and you write it down, and then I want you to get committed to it. Because you're probably thinking, well, right now the opportunities haven't arrived for me. I mean, I have to have a lot of opportunities to reach this vision, and I just don't see those opportunities. And I understand that. But here's maybe the most important thing that we need to tuck into our minds and carry with us this year. The most important thing we need to tuck into our minds and carry with us this year. And that's this: until we're committed, there's always a weakness. Until we're committed, there's always a tendency to give up, to back off. But once we're fully committed, then the universe will step up and have our backs. Once we're fully committed, the universe will step up and have our backs. And all sorts of unexpected things will magically happen, will magically appear to support us in our path. They'll arrive when we fully commit mentally, physically, and spiritually. And those opportunities are not going to arrive until we make that commitment. Great coach, football coach, great powerful man, Vince Lombardi Jr., said the difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of will. And what I'm asking us to do now is to have the will to commit. So if you have a piece of paper and you're writing down number 1, get a vision, underneath that, please write commit. Because I was on the beach with a friend of mine, Bill Smith, and there was a cliff that went up behind us. And he said, Bob, I'm going to climb that cliff. Come and climb that cliff with me. Well, Bill was a pretty good cliff climber. And so Bill started climbing the cliff. And so I started climbing alongside of him. And I was pretty strong, pretty athletic. And as we got up near the top, and the top layer of that strata was sandstone. And as I would get my hand in a grip and pull down, the sandstone would sometimes collapse. And Bill just kept going, and he went up on top, and he was like 10 feet above me, and I was 10 feet below him, and I was tired then. And my legs started shaking, and my hands started shaking, and I was having a hard time getting a grip. And I looked down, and it was a long ways down. And if I'd have fallen, it would have surely killed me. And Bill's just standing up on top, and he said, you got to get committed, Trask. I want to say to you, you got to get committed. And I got committed. And I went up that cliff. That sandstone, handholds collapsing, didn't matter. I went up that cliff. And had I not gotten committed, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you today. You need to commit. What we're reaching for in this vision is something that's beyond us right now. It's something that's beyond us right now. If we can't get there unless we commit. We have to leave here to get there. And when you're committed, the tension inside of you relaxes, and you feel a flow of energy and wisdom, a sense of personal power that makes this whole process fun. You're now in all the way. When you commit, you're in all the way, and the universe finally sees you being who you are, being who you came here to be. And then the universe brings forth all sorts of ways to support you. In your commitment, you must be always expecting miracles. Be open to miracles. Be accepting miracles. Be expecting them. because they're going to be coming your way. As long as you're committed, those miracles are going to be coming your way. Don't say, no, it has to make sense. I was going on a wilderness expedition, and I was gathering a group of people that I was going to take with me on this wilderness expedition. And there was a woman in one of my classes that said, Bob, I really want to go, but I just don't have the money. And I don't remember how much money it was, but let's just say that it was $1,500. I don't remember now, but I just don't have the money. And she said that to me several times. And I said, if you would just commit, don't worry about the money, just commit to going. Know that you're going. Make that decision inside of yourself. Start putting your stuff together, getting the pack and stuff that you need. Get committed. And I had to talk to her about that 2 or 3 times. Finally, she said, I am committed. I'm going on the trip. I said, do you have the money? She said, not yet, but it'll be there. I'm going. She went home, opened her mailbox, and there was a check for the exact to the penny amount that she needed that came from an insurance company from an automobile accident that she'd had years before. And before the statute of limitations ran out, they just sent her a check. And that check was exactly the amount she needed to go on that trip. I could tell you more and more and more miracles. Over the years teaching around the world, I've seen so many people create miracles. And that those miracles come when you're committed. So you need to work. You need to do your life's work. And for some, that word work sounds dreadful, but I'm not talking about working harder. I'm talking about working happier. I'm talking about working happier because when you're on your mission, when you're on the mission of doing your life's work, it's joy. It's joy. And in the past, you might have worked really hard. And what made that work hard is that you weren't doing your life's work. You weren't doing your own work. The work I'm talking about is the expression, the true expression of your mind and your body and your spirit. It's a process that will gradually unfold you as a human being. It'll gradually unfold you as a human being step by step. You're becoming daily to see who you are and what your purpose is on this planet. And you'll feel a value. I think a lot of people that I talk to want to become important. I don't think we should become important. I think we should become valuable. And you'll feel that value increasing. And you'll feel other people becoming inspired by you. And you become a leader. And we need to then check in quite often as we're doing our life's work. We need to make sure that we're working happier and feeling fulfilled, increasingly fulfilled in ourselves. And there's going to come times, I promise you, there are going to come times when it seems like going forward and accomplishing your dreams has become impossible. You're going to come to those things. I know I've been there. It's just, you can't, I've tried everything. I don't know what else to do. It just isn't going to work. It's just impossible. But don't quit then. Most people quit then. Don't quit then. Because that's when you're almost there. It's darkest before the dawn, isn't it? So when that happens, when you get to that point where it feels impossible, let's take our minds off the frustration and visualize on the dream. Visualize it even stronger and commit even stronger and let those miracles occur. Very often, this is the time we need to pull our support team more on board. Remember, this isn't dark work. This is a work of light and a work of joy. You want to get lucky? Luck happens when we're fully committed and engaged in making miracles happen. So don't ever give up on your dream, not ever. Now, along this process, you're going to discover a lovely truth. And that truth is that you have talents and abilities you never knew you had. And those are going to come to the surface when two things happen. One, you find a new you. You find a new you. The one that's been sleeping wakes up. The one that's the pioneer. I think about pioneers. I think about the people who sailed across the ocean when it was known that the world was flat, and that if you sailed far enough off the ocean, you'd fall off. When I think back about that, I have no idea where you would fall off to. Maybe fall off into space. I don't know. But those people sailed out anyway, and they sailed day and night, and they were and they didn't know. They just were committed. And there are people here in the Americas that cross the plains in covered wagons. My very own grandma, God bless you, Grandma, crossed the plains in a covered wagon. You imagine what that was like, bouncing along on a wooden seat with no guarantees of anything. And the food that you ate, you had some flour on board, maybe some dried nuts or something. But the food that you had to find rabbits or deer or something along the way to sustain you. And if you didn't find them, you'd starve. It was incredible. But they were living full and open lives. They were never, ever as alive, ever in their lives as they were when they were out there. And that's what I'm asking you and me to do. Let's be pioneers. Let's leave behind the comforts and venture into something greater. I'm not asking you to leave your home or sell your car and go on the road walking. I'm asking you to just take a risk of being who you really came here to be. And that happens when you follow the vision that's inside of you. And that vision, let me go back and just talk about that for just a minute. That vision isn't something that somebody else has, like becoming a movie star or whatever. That might be a fantasy. But what your vision is something that has been living inside of you. It's a seed that needs to be watered and nurtured. It's been living inside of you your whole life. That's what you came here to do. That's who you came here to be. The results of that are what you came here to have. But you're going to have to be a pioneer to do that. You have to reach out. Dare to reach out. Dare to live a new, full, and open life. And then something magical is going to happen. You'll be happier than you can right now even imagine. You'll laugh more. You'll sleep better. You'll smile more. Famous philosopher and theologian Albert Schweitzer said, "Success is not the key to happiness." He said, "Success is not the key to happiness." He said, "Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. And you're the only one. And you're the only you. You are the only you, and therefore you're the smartest you that will ever live. And you didn't come on this planet in this lifetime to be other thing than joyful and successful. So I'm hoping today you'll make the decision to come with me, to be available, to be curious, to be interested, and to be generous. If so, you'll surely have the dream you hold in your heart this year. So let's go forward. Let's go forward now with our heads held high and our hearts held high. Let's see ourselves as brand new, with brand new opportunities for self-fulfillment, for pure joy. Let's keep our minds open and happy so we can see the oncoming opportunities when they arrive. And finally, I want to quote famous speaker and author Zig Ziglar, who said, "You were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win." And Aristotle said, "Winning is not an event, but a habit. You are what you repeatedly do." And finally, this from Martin Luther King: you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Just take the first step. Thank you, Martin Luther King. And thank you for being with me today. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your attention. And thank you for being with me on the road to greatness. Let's be all that we came here to be. Thanks. I'll see you next week.